Local State Representative Mark Mesmer is selected for a summer study committee. Jasper Mayor Terry Seitz joins me for Monday with the Mayor, and sports with Kurt Guxell. Those stories and much more are up next here on 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. In your news, local state representative Mark Mesmer has been appointed to serve as co-chairman of the Interim Study Committee on Economic Development, as well as a member of the Military Base Planning Council. Mesmer says it's a great honor to once again be selected for the committee.
Well, it's a definite honor to be co-chairing the Economic Development Study Committee again this summer. It's probably one of the most important committees that meets through the summer. Economic development and jobs growth is key to everybody's priority list, and we really get a chance to study in depth, policies that we need to be focusing on, policies that need to be eliminated to help, make the state and business work more efficiently.
Every year after the legislative session is completed, the Legislative Council meets to assign topics for study during the interim, as well as to establish any new interim committee that is needed to examine a particular issue. Most interim committees begin meeting in July, with their work wrapping up towards the end of October. Mesmer says the Study Committee on Economic Development will largely focus on rural economic development policy and self-distribution for farm wineries. He says these topics, along with anything else that should come up during discussions, will be a part of helping Indiana grow going forward.
So looking forward to those two big items, plus the normal input from industry leaders and what do we need to do to make Indiana the most competitive place to do business and grow businesses and attract businesses.
Interim committees are an integral part of the legislative process. Even though session has adjourned for 2013, representatives continue their legislative duties by conducting in-depth studies of various topics assigned to their committees. Interim committees with specific expertise receive public testimony and work out the details of proposed legislation before it is introduced for the 2014 legislative session. To see a complete list of the assigned committees, member appointments, and what the committees are charged with studying, you can visit in.gov/House_Republicans. Mesmer represents portions of Davies, Dubois, Pike, and Martin counties. An accident involving an off-road vehicle near Velpen yesterday afternoon sent 2 people to regional hospitals. The Indiana Department of Natural Resources preliminary investigation says 13-year-old Gavin Boyd of Winslow was operating an off-road vehicle along County Road 900 East near Velpen just before 2:50 p.m. yesterday afternoon when the accident took place. Authorities say Boyd lost control of his vehicle after hitting a pothole while going around a curve. The vehicle then went down an embankment, throwing both Boyd and his passenger, 6-year-old Briar Thomas of Petersburg, from the bike. Boyd was transported to Memorial Hospital in Jasper, while Thomas was taken to Deaconess Hospital in Evansville. Both were treated for non-life-threatening injuries. The Pike County Sheriff's Department, Pike County EMS, and the Jefferson Township Volunteer Fire Department all assisted at the scene. In counties where it is legal to ride an off-road vehicle on a public roadway, the driver must have a valid driver's license and the vehicle must be registered as an off-road vehicle. Although not required, conservation officers say it is a good idea to always wear protective gear such as helmets, gloves, proper shoes, long pants, and long-sleeve shirts. This past weekend, the Ferdinand Hymen Fest held its 18th annual festival. The event began at 5 p.m. on Friday with the opening of the food and game booths. The opening night was also highlighted by the second event of the WBDC Cornhole Tournament of Champions. Speaking prior to the event on 18 WJTS Inform, Ferdinand Hymen Fest co-chair Angie Seffernick said this year's event, which is usually held on Father's Day weekend, was moved back a weekend due to the St. Henry Heinrichsdorf Fest being held on Father's Day weekend this year.
That's part of the reason why we don't have the community center. They reserved Father's Day weekend for us because most people do think Father's Day weekend and the Hymen Fest. But St. Henry, Indiana had their Heinrichsdorf Fest last weekend. Right. And so we would never want to do, they have such a nice event and we're so very close, in proximity. So we would never want to have it. So we checked with them last year and they told us when they were having it. And we said, okay, then we're the next weekend. And so I think it's always got to be the third Friday and Saturday in June.
Seffernick said the Hymen Fest is a key fundraiser for several community organizations that are involved in the event.
I think it helps support. We have a lot of local organizations that participate in the Hymen Fest, and this is a great fundraiser for them. So if you come down there and you buy a hamburger, you're supporting the band boosters. If you come down there and you play in the volleyball contest, you're supporting the Tri-County YMCA. So all that kind of stuff, it helps them. If the Hymen Fest committee has money left afterwards, and for the last 5 years we have, and we were able to make some donations, and in the last 5 years we've been able to donate just under $30,000.
Other featured events at this year's Hymen Fest included a barbecue contest, a car show, and a water ball contest sponsored by the Ferdinand Fire Department. In other notes from the weekend, the WBDC Cornhole Tournament of Champions held its second event at the Ferdinand Hymen Fest. Team Bounty Hunters, comprised of TJ Miller and Randy Johnson, defeated the team Over the Top to win the Pro Division event. Bounty Hunters becomes the second team to advance to the championship match of the tournament, which will be held at the Huntingburg Herbstfest on September 28th. Steeler Nation advanced to the championship round by winning the first event of the tournament at the St. Henry Heinrichsdorf Fest last weekend. The Rangers, comprised of Brent Flamian and Derek Dirkholtz of Ferdinand, won the amateur division of the Ferdinand Hymen Fest tournament. The third stop on the WBDC Cornhole Tournament of Champions will be held at the Celestine Street Fest this coming Saturday. Registration is set to take place at 1 p.m. on Saturday, with throwing set to start at 2 p.m. Pre-registration for that tournament is now underway. You can pre-register for Saturday's tournament by calling 482-2727 or by going online to wbdc.us. The Dubois County Humane Society received a $5,000 award Saturday from Companies with a Mission's Indiana Service Challenge program. The award was earned because of service work Hettinger Beverage conducted at the Humane Society's Pet Adoption Center. Hettinger volunteers went to the shelter on April 26th to clean, paint, and work with the animals. The project was videotaped for the contest. The award money will be used for shelter improvements, community education, and the Society's Spay and Neuter program. The Dubois County Group was one of 9 charities across the state to receive a $5,000 award. An additional 3 charities received a $15,000 award, 5 received a $10,000 award, and 20 received a $1,000 award. Coming up after the break, Monday with the Mayor with Jasper Mayor Terry Seitz, plus sunny skies with slight rain chances are ahead in your local forecast, and Inform featuring Shanna Hallett of the Otwell Miss Firecracker pageant. That's all up next here on 18 WJTS News. Local people watching local people.